That one.
Hello.
That's just going to make them louder.
And welcome to the Ethereal Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Big Man, joined by Little Man, joined by Caucasian Asian. DJ Soup is not in the mix. There's dogs barking, trees starting.
You gonna start rapping? Man, if we ever, the next time we take like a picture, I'm gonna get like a Barbie doll and dress him up like me for Little Man.
We should take like a family picture and have all of us normally, and then you just little Barbie. That'd be funny as fuck.
It would be funny as shit. That'd
we should
be
make
good.
Christmas cards.
Did you guys do one last year?
No.
Did you?
No, Chan and Shelby did.
I know they do every year.
Yeah.
Me, Shy Pie always talk about it, but we never get around to it.
We always talk about it too, but this certain person does not like pictures of themselves at all.
I don't like
it's the
pictures of
hardest thing.
myself either, so I understand
I
that.
don't either.
Cody doesn't either.
No.
I'll have to start working on the jaw thing.
You're gonna get one of those things?
You're going to look like that one guy
Yeah.
that did it for 4 years.
Jesus Christ.
Are you talking about Mega Chad?
No, you didn't see what this guy
Is that
looks
his
like?
name? What?
I'll
I've never seen it.
I'll pull
Yeah,
it
I
up.
don't. I don't understand that.
No.
Fucking weak jaw lines.
I want to get one of those O2 things though. You ever see those? They're you just like you can do them anytime. It's just to like help regulate your breathing. It's supposed to help with your lungs and shit. You can do it when you work out too. That's disgusting. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? I would quit.
Yeah.
That looks ugh,
Yeah.
I would quit.
I
gross.
remember I got this one kind of
Shit.
sports inhaler thing.
But you wear a mask. You wear or what?
No, it was just like it wasn't even a sport. Like it just had a whole bunch of essential oils and a few other things. I think it had smelling salts in it too. But you just put it up your nose and just.
Sounds like a popper.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like a popper?
Yeah.
You know what a popper is? It's like no.
Oh.
It's for like sex and stuff.
Oh.
Usually gay men. It's the more typical because
Well,
it
like-
helps with like relaxing.
Well, it really opened up my science because I always had a problem.
Mm.
I had sports-induced asthma
Asthma?
a little bit.
Have you ever?
Probably because I was fucking fat and I had 60 pounds of fat on my lungs, but
Why would you have 60 pounds of fat?
40 pounds of fat
You
on my
breathe in
lungs.
chubby air?
Yeah.
You're breathing in fat?
I had a big belly
I never thought you had that big of a belly.
because I always sucked in.
Oh, I saw you naked all the time. I never saw you.
It's because I was sucking in.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I've gotten so
How
like
long did you hold that?
all the time. Like honestly, it's like a habit for me. Like I never.
It's almost like instinct now.
Yeah, like I never have my stomach like fully relaxed.
Do you have dietary problems like pooping?
No.
Probably because your sphincter muscles, right? Because when you like suck in, you're kind of pinching.
Well, like it's not like sucking in a
Right?
whole bunch.
Cody?
I don't fucking.
You look it up, scientific research.
Yeah,
Let's
it's,
go.
yeah, it's
Does
not
your
like
butthole pinch if you suck your stomach
Jeez.
in?
It's not like a whole bunch of. It wasn't like a whole bunch, or not anymore. Really, I guess I don't feel myself sucking in anymore. But
You probably don't even realize it.
I hate the feeling of being bloated though.
Oh,
Oh
that is
my
like-
god.
That is
God.
a terrible feeling.
I like look and it just looks like I'm fucking like
Yeah.
30 pounds heavier, and it's
Or
the
like-
most uncomfortable feeling.
When you gotta work and you're bloated, it's the
Mhm.
worst. And you gotta like bend over and do shit. You're like, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cigarettes help with that. There was something. Oh God. Did you guys hear what Demi Lovato said?
Is she back on heroin?
No, not yet.
Oh.
What?
About aliens and shit.
No. Oh, you look it up.
I don't see anything about
I was
whether
at
it
the
does.
gym
God damn it!
yesterday.
Gonna have to call a scientist. Yeah.
And these 3 kids were working out next to me, and they were trying to teach this one kid how to deadlift. And I don't know if something was wrong with him or what, but like how they were teaching him was completely wrong. And he picked up the weight.
Oh, don't even tell me. Gross.
No, it was.
Oh.
He like picked up the weight,
snapped his
and then for
face.
some reason they told him to like drag it on his knees when they're dropping it. So I was like watching them, like I don't know if I should help him or
Yeah.
not.
You should step in before he breaks his knee.
But he picked it up, and then he
Fucking
slammed on top of his knees. I was like, oh fuck.
Dude, that just
Poor kneecap.
That ripped the kneecap off.
And I looked at them, and they looked at me and like shook their heads like, what? And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not fuck you.
I would have been like, you're gonna make him rip his.
Well, even me.
Look up some YouTube videos.
Because like
for
I saw
fuck's
them like
sake.
teaching him and everything, and it was so I was at the end. It was these 3 kids, and then there was this one girl, and yeah, they were like doing it all weirdly. I remember like looking over at the one girl, and we like made eye contact. I'm like, and she even was like, yeah, she was like, I was like, okay. I was like, if you're not gonna help, I'm not.
And you were like,
Yeah. It was one of the twins. Yeah.
so this is from today. She went on today, and she's been talking about doing this for a while. But
Is she an alien?
Demi Lovato's latest journey is out of this world. The pop star, actor, and activist has gone off their usual path in search for a close encounter of the third kind. In a 4-part Peacock docuseries, Identified with Demi Lovato.
Wouldn't it be identified?
Cody, you don't get it?
I get
So
it.
what he did,
Yeah.
okay,
I figured it out.
oh, in which they investigate UFO phenomena. Basically, we went out there with equipment and meditated and tried to make contact. You'll have to watch the show, Lovato told Hoda Kotaba.
She's back on heroin.
No, I don't think so.
Something else.
No, I think, listen, like, have you guys watched that documentary?
That
Did
you're
about
talking
Demi
about?
Lovato?
No.
It's actually very good. She said, like, when she was like 15 or 16, they were offered, like, her agent was like, you need coke, you need like Adderall, what do you need?
There you go.
I think she was like 15
What, like Disney producers?
when she was Camp Rock.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Camp Rock, that shit.
Half those kids are doing cocaine and shit
Yeah.
like that.
That's pretty tight.
All of those Disney kids, man, it's the devil. Hey, Disney starts with a D. You know what else does? The fucking
Dick.
devil. Oh yeah, that too.
That
Yeah, that too. But I love that Quiet Place meme.
I
With John Krasinski when he turns Camp Rock.
Have you seen the Britney Spears documentary?
no.
I said
Oh,
it's
it was
fucked.
actually you kind of makes you really feel bad for her.
Yeah. Oh, I do feel bad for
Oh
her.
yeah. Well,
That-
like even more like holy shit.
Well, she tried to get out of it so many times, and then
Yeah.
I'd like
then
to do
then
an
she'd go
episode
to
on it.
rehab.
You could see how big of a piece of shit her dad is because he waited for like the perfect moment to take control. After she had that mental break, he's like, "This is my time to strike. Let's go."
Yeah, and he took her.
I can't believe that's like allowed
it should
for a
not be.
fucking adult.
Yeah.
Especially when she's like 40 something or 30 something, and they're like, he still controls your life.
The
You're
only
a
time-
12-year-old still.
The only time that should be acceptable is when you have the mental capacity of
Yeah.
like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, if you're actually mentally,
Yeah.
not all there.
It's I highly recommend it. It's very good. Very
We should-
sad.
we should
and
do an
interesting.
episode
That's
on
what like
I
I'm
highly
already kind of
Recommend.
Brittany's back.
I'd do an episode. I'd like to do an episode on it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
it's
Do you watch Squid Game yet?
No, I see it all over the gram though.
Well,
yeah.
When,
I was gonna-
what?
So this month, all 4 episodes, it's gonna be Spooktober or Spooktober. So it's gonna be a month full of aliens,
so we're saying all the all the other
paranormal
stuff.
activity,
all the true,
demons.
all the true crime,
Oh.
Yeah, no true crime this month. It'll just
Spook.
cryptids, aliens.
Oh, yes,
aliens,
cryptids.
Ghosts.
paranormal,
Yes.
everything spooky, and then of course Prestige panel will just be normal.
And this would be a good episode to kind of kick it off because we're gonna finish Project Blue Book, and that's why I kind of wanted to do the Demi Lovato article. And this is what she said: when I make contact, I don't mean like touching fingers. I wish. With an ET, Lovato said. What I mean by making contact is just by putting the intention out into the universe that you will see something from another world. Hold on, there's actually some. There's actually
I didn't say anything.
that move, that Blazik move,
I was just
whatever. You got
get stuff off my teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, the presence of unexplained phenomenon was a hot topic, not the store, this summer as the Pentagon shared with Congress what it knows about UFO sightings, including leaked military radar readings that backed up reports by of unidentified flying objects harassing Navy ships off the coast of California in 2019.
California.
No, some people. There's actually a lot of people, and Hynek was kind of one of them. That it was more like of a not a mental
Spiritual?
No, I don't want to say spiritual. I mean psychic encounter with
Spiritual.
it just sounds so wooey, but it's more like it's personal.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody's seeing it, but you're seeing it. It's like from.
Oh, so it's kind of just all mental.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's what a lot of people say. Dr. J.N.L. Hynek, who was head of Blue Book, actually said that it might be the cause for a lot of these sightings. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Already,
I'd like.
it's too. They didn't have the 3. They only had the 6.
See,
It's too much.
How much?
I'd like
What
to
kind is
think
it?
I can't
that-
cut them in half.
Aliens have been watching us so long that they just keep eyes on the crazy people and the conspiracists, and that's who they
Because
who
no one's going to believe them.
Because it's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
If I can think of it, I'm sure an alien race.
You
can.
think they tell them, be like, no one's going to believe you?
That's. I was watching this one clip from this show. This kid's just watching this girl play volleyball. It's animated, and he's sitting there, and a pigeon is sitting right next to him. He's like, "Starting to notice the girls, huh?" He's like, "Started masturbating? Well, it's weird. You're the only one that does it."
That's with Norm Macdonald, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got Mike Tyson's in it too. I forgot the name of the show. I saw that. It's funny.
Yeah.
A pigeon starts talking.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald plays the pigeon.
Is that the one that it's about Mike Tyson?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
I think I have the.
Start masturbating yet?
Yeah. He's like, "So you're starting to notice the girls, huh? Start touching yourself yet? Well, it's weird. You're the only one that does it."
He goes away laughing, got him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you found it.
Starting to notice the girls, huh? Let me ask you something. You jacking off yet? Because if you are, it's weird. Nobody does it. You're the only one.
Oh, R.I.P. man. I love that guy was so funny. So funny. But it's almost like what they did with Charles Manson, like the CIA, how they kind of coaxed him into seeing what LSD can do to a group,
Oh, yeah.
which we will do an episode on.
LSD.
While on LSD?
Oh, we could. Oh, we could. No, I don't think I could do that.
I
don't think I
don't
could
even
do
know how that would go.
that. No, I don't think.
It'd be like 3 hours of silence
No.
and
Yeah.
random,
We're just
and
all
just
like-
random screams and
We all think we're having a conversation with each other, but
just-
it's just in our minds.
yeah. Is that random towards like good one? It's
I don't
fuck
know.
that.
I've never personally done it actually, so I can say that. I've been around people and they don't shut up. I remember the one girl. She's like, "There's demons everywhere."
You should have played into it.
Yeah, you should have been like, yeah, there are.
Oh no, I felt bad. I knew her. You guys knew her too. So we're gonna go over the cases that Project Blue Book went over. What?
Jacking off, yeah.
and like pretty much almost everyone was discredited except for 75, if you don't remember. And a lot of those, like it took a long time to find. I had to pay $20 for PDF,
Really?
and it was one page.
You didn't.
It did say how many pages.
No,
it
it
was.
didn't. It didn't. It was.
I would have asked for a fucking refund.
Oh, I did. I emailed, so hopefully I get it. I was pissed though because I started reading it, I was like, oh, this is kind of juicy. And I kept scrolling. I was like, wait a second, this is one fucking page.
What the fuck?
Got him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one is the McMinnville UFO photographs were taken by a farming couple. So I'm not. By the way, I'm not even using the PDF because there was.
Nothing.
It had a lot of buildup, you know.
And then it just ends. Pay $20 more.
blue balled you?
Yeah, they did. It's like reading the first like 2 pages of a book, and then the rest are all blank. You know, like you're like, yeah, let's go. Or like seeing the trailer, and then you watch the movie, it's just a black screen. Be a great way to describe
yeah.
it. Were taken by a farming couple, Paul and Evelyn Trent, near McMinnville, Oregon, United States, in May 1950. The photos were reprinted in Life magazine and were across all newspapers in the nation.
I'm gonna look these
Most UFO skeptics believe the photos are a hoax, but many ufologists continue to argue that the photos actually depicted by genuine identified object in the sky. And Jane Ellen Hynek in Blue Book said that it was a weather balloon.
Classic.
That
What is it called? These photos?
I have them right here.
Oh, I was gonna pull it up.
Yeah.
Typical weather balloon shape.
They said that you can't see the top of the balloon because this was the weather detecting device, and the top of the balloon was hidden by the clouds, and it was just dangling.
It's always a weather balloon.
Obviously. Did you send that video to Ty that you took last night?
I showed him.
Yeah,
Dude, that was so fucking
with
funny.
Hermit the Frogman. Yeah. According to the astronomer Will K. Hartman's account on 11th of May 1950, 11 Trent was walking back to her farmhouse after feeding her caged rabbits. Before reaching the house, she noticed a slow-moving metal disc-shaped object heading in her direction from the northeast. She yelled for her husband, Paul, who was inside the house. He claimed that upon leaving the house, he also saw the object. After watching the object for a short time, he went back inside their home to obtain a camera. He said he managed to take 2 photos of the object before it sped away to the west.
So
Paul-
weather balloons typically travel east to west?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Got it.
Paul Trent's father also claimed he briefly viewed the object before it flew away. And I think
Well, they follow the sun.
that the way
The opposite.
it was attached to the sun.
Doesn't the sun
Yeah,
die
go-
every day?
Yeah.
The sun goes east to west.
No,
I thought it dies every day.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's reborn. Like a phoenix. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I mean, I think this was the one where they said a hoax, but like looking at it, I mean, where is the sun coming from? Like you can't see any shadows in the photograph, and like old timey photos, you'd have a glare.
Yeah.
And if it was moving, what was it? It was 7:30 p.m. and it was going west.
It's towards sunset.
So towards the sunset.
So you would have a massive glare. You wouldn't even be able to see,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Even with clouds, it still would be a little bit. Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Well, it's a weather balloon, so
False.
Okay, I'm gonna look up. What year was this?
This is 1950.
I'm gonna look
1950 weather balloon.
up. Yeah. They literally just have that photo up.
Did they really?
No, I'm just saying.
That'd be funny. as fuck.
This is the only weather balloons from the 1950s.
What about
That looks nothing like the bottom of the fucking weather balloon.
And the fact that they used like weather balloon all the way until like fucking 2000.
Are you fucking high?
It's a weather balloon. It's a weather balloon. There's a shit ton of that swamp gas.
Yeah.
Like,
You see that giant ass like triangular thing in the air? It's a weather
The
balloon.
balloon. We reorgan.
how the fuck? That's not even close to the same
It's
thing.
a different kind.
What do you? It's
Cody.
that's just a zoomed in picture of a parachuter.
I might have got the wrong
But
report of the.
still. None of these are fucking round at the bottom.
Yeah, I might have gotten the wrong sighting for that one. So don't quote me on that. Maybe it got disproven as a hoax.
About it being a weather balloon?
Yeah. Because I paid for the round PDF.
Still though, like,
Well, and like even looking at like pictures of like the sunset from 1950s cameras,
Not nice.
no, you would see a huge here that photo pops up. It says hoax.
even this one, this is just panels on it though. This,
I'm not sure, man.
I'm not sure.
I could tell you.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yes, I agree. It is. Okay, the next one, the Mariana UFO incident. At 11:25 a.m. on August 15th, 1950, Nick Marina, the general manager of the Great Falls Electrics minor league baseball team, and his 19-year-old secretary, Virginia Randig, were inspecting the empty Legion Stadium baseball field before a game. The Electrics were a farm club of the Brooklyn Dodgers. A bright flash caught Marina's eye, and according to his reports, he saw two bright silver objects rotating while flying over the Great Falls at a speed he estimated to be about 200 or 400 miles per hour.
That's a good.
How do you
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I've seen so many baseballs thrown. I
At
just take it
200
times
miles.
5. Yeah. That's baseball.
Somebody throw baseball as far as you can. 200 miles.
Wasn't it? That baseball didn't even get close.
That's how they did it back in the day. They just stood and let somebody whip a baseball at them, and then that's how they determined the
Or they
speed.
like ran. Well, you could actually compare. Well, we're not okay. I agree.
200 miles.
He believed that they were roughly 50 feet wide and 150 feet apart. Marina ran to his car to retrieve his 16 millimeter movie camera and filmed the UFOs for 16 seconds.
Okay, if something is moving at 200 to 400 feet,
But it's in the sky.
You got to think how fast planes are moving and how slow they look when we're down here.
Yeah.
planes move 20 miles an hour.
If that's true,
Yeah.
fuck
A
flying.
lot of people are dying.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ.
The camera could film the objects in color, but could not record the sound. Man, I don't know if that's her name. Ra also witnessed
How's it
the objects.
spelled?
Raunig.
Raunig.
Wrong. I'd say wrong.
Wrong? Man, that's a
Wrong.
Wrong. Also witnessed the objects. The day after Marina's sighting, the Great Falls Tribune, the city daily newspaper, described his sighting and the film in an article, which was picked up by other media outlets from the nation. For several weeks after the sighting, Marina showed his film to local community groups, including the Central Roundtable Athletic Club.
Is
They're
that
just
still
kites.
out there? That footage?
I never looked it up.
I can look it up right now.
They're kites.
It's a kite.
It's a kite.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's it?
Moving 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
The I don't know if I'm even saying his name. MARIANA UFO film.
Okay.
After seeing the film, the reporter of the Great Falls Tribune called Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in
That
Ohio.
place has some.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
like
where it
to do an
all
episode on
started.
that, too.
It's where it
Yeah.
all started, man. And informed them of Marina's sighting and the film. The U.S. Air Force Captain John P. Bradelson interviewed Marina at a nearby Maelstrom AFB outside of the Great Falls. When Marina and Miss Ron both told him that they had seen two jet fighters pass over the baseball stadium shortly after the sighting, Bradelson felt that perhaps the jets were the objects, and Marina had seen had captured them on film.
Would you like to watch it?
I would love to watch it. With Marina's permission, Captain Bradelson sent the film to the Wright-Patterson's AFB for analysis. He told the reporter that the Great Falls that he had picked up about 8 feet of the film from Marina. However, in his message to Wright-Patterson, he said that he was sending approximately 15 feet of moving picture film to the base for study. According to UFO historian Jerome Clark, the discrepancy was never cleared up.
What a surprise. And here we're watching stuff. It's interesting.
They are moving pretty quick.
Yeah. About 20 miles. Huh.
It's just the man talking.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Hmm.
When they were working, I mean, this is when they were working on spy planes, you know, and
Kites.
super kites,
Super kites.
and nobody knew about it.
It's a great idea. You have to, because it's undetectable, you tie yourself to a kite. And then you kite over
So-
the enemy defenses.
So
Like
like a paraglide?
Avatar.
Kite.
Got it. So so two jets came after them after that?
That's what they said. Yes.
And that the
But it was
pilots
two jets
never
going
talked
after two jets.
Yeah, never talked about that incident though.
No. So they think that they were recording the two jets and not two, things flying. I mean, is that me?
Yeah. It's your first time doing a
Shut
podcast.
up, Lydia.
Labia.
When was Roswell again? What year was that?
Roswell was in the 70s, I think.
No, it was in the 50s.
60s.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. Can you Google it? Quick Google
am.
check.
I am doing it right now.
Quick Google check.
1949.
Huh?
1949.
Yeah.
Told
So
you. I'm dyslexic.
don't take my
I was
disability.
thinking of 19. I was saying
What's so funny,
1974.
Cody?
but I meant
Disability stealing.
1947.
He is stealing my disability.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's
cool.
not disability.
What is it then? No, so, but this is when like that. It was crazy for everybody was seeing shit at
UFOs,
this time.
yeah.
Yeah, man, it was all over, and it's because it was. I mean, the Roswell thing that was.
Bunch of rogue weather balloons is what it all was.
Is that what they said?
They got free. That's what they said about Roswell. As a
Every
weather balloon.
every UFO sighting after Roswell and everything for years, weather balloon.
Well, and there was a lot of people. I mean, they think now that it was a Russian spy plane that they took. That's like the common.
It's a weird looking Russian spy plane.
Yeah, you feel like after they released all that information about UFOs, like the CIA did and the FBI, like why wouldn't they release stuff about that? Like the full report from
Of
Roswell.
Roswell?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't know.
Did we ever? I don't think there ever was one. I read a novel called The Roswell Incident.
I did too.
Yeah, it was good. That's it.
It was a weather balloon.
Yep. At Wright-Patterson AFB, the film was briefly examined and determined to be the reflections of the two F-94 jet fighters that were known to be flying over the Great Falls at the time of Mariana's sighting. The reflection. Have you guys ever seen a reflection of a jet?
No.
Cody?
Jets don't have reflection.
Are they pure silver, like silver color, or?
I've never
They
seen
must
one.
be polished stainless or polished aluminum.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Not even
Ever.
a fucking mirror of a plane
Ever.
or a
Planes
glass.
don't have mirrors.
Even like
Yeah, they do.
even if it was a glare, like let's say off of like their window,
Yeah.
their whatever, it would. There's no way.
It would stay in
Yeah.
that same position for
And
that
did it
long.
not? It looked clear outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be reflecting off of a cloud or moisture in the air, which is a fucking cloud.
Did you know
They-
it's illegal to shine laser pointers at?
I did.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video of that one guy? Took like a high-powered green laser pointer. It was like flashing it at a helicopter and something else, and he like hit the camera directly too. And then they're just like, "Yeah, he's on this street in this house."
It could fuck up all the sensors and shit.
Well, that is you could something bad
You could
could
make
happen.
the plane crash.
Yeah, man.
I think it's pretty funny.
Lieutenant Colonel Ray Taylor returned the film to Marina with a cover letter stating that our photo analysis were unable to find anything identifiable of unusual nature. However, according to Air Force Officer Edward J. Rupplet, who would become the supervisor of the Air Force Project Blue Book investigation of the UFO mystery in 1951 and in 1950, there was no interest by the Air Force in this UFO so quick viewing. Project Grudge had written them off as the reflections of two F-94 jet fighters in the area.
They should have showed the flight logs then.
Yeah. Right.
That's classified military information.
Controversy soon arose when Marina claimed that the first 35 frames of his film, which he said most clearly showed the UFOs as rotating discs, were missing. People in the Great Falls area who had viewed Marina's film supported his claims.
What a bunch of fucking...
Because remember, he was missing because they only gave him back 8 feet, and he sent them 18 feet of film.
bunch of scumbags.
Yeah, they claimed that the missing frames clearly showed UFOs as spinning metal discs with a notch or band along the outer edges. The Air Force personnel denied this accusation and insisted that they had removed only one single frame of the film, which was damaged in analysis.
Wow. That one single film was 10 feet.
Yeah. There was a lawsuit in January 1951. Bob Costanza, a writer of the UFO Skeptic, wrote an article of Cosmopolitan magazine entitled "The Disgraceful Flying Saucer Hoax." It debunked the most famous UFO sightings to the date, including Mariana's sighting and film.
What a dick.
I wonder how much the government pays people like that just to...
A fuck ton, probably.
Well, and also to like fill the air with misinformation, so anything that's credible seems like it's a hoax as well as all the other misinformation, which they do all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
And even more so now, you know, with everything going on. Yeah, that one's
Pretty good. It's funny.
it's funny.
Well, that they
You think it's funny?
a quick chuckle.
Oh, now Rupplet, if you remember, who was the head of Project Blue Book, wrote that the first sighting of these, this was in Lubbock, the Lubbock Lights, was reported by 3 professors from Texas Technological College, located in Lubbock on August 25th, 1951 at around 9 p.m., according to Rupplet. They were sitting in the backyard of one of the professors' homes when they observed a total of 20 to 30 lights, as bright as stars, but larger in size. Flying overhead, Rupplet wrote that the professors immediately ruled out meteors as a possible cause of the sightings. As they discussed their sighting, a second similar group of lights flew overhead.
Weather balloons.
Swamp gas.
Swamp gas.
Rupplet said that the names of the 3 professors were or a chemical, whatever, it doesn't even matter. A chemical engineer, a petroleum engineer, and a geologist who reported their sighting to a local newspaper, the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, which is hilarious because Lubbock, Texas is like flat. Man, Avalanche Journal. It's ironic, huh? No. According to the UFO author Jerome Clark, 3 women in Lubbock reported that they had observed peculiar flashing lights in the sky on the same night as the professor sightings, as well as Karl Heminger, a professor at German Texas Tech. I mean, I would trust 3 scientists over probably anybody else, right?
Depends on the scientist.
Not
What are they
even-
scientisting in?
I just told you. Were you not listening? Were you too busy staring at your phone? Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you.
Well, one's a geologist, Cole. So obviously he knows about.
He's a rock.
He knows about space.
You don't trust that's Randy. You don't trust Randy?
No.
He's a geologist.
What am I supposed to learn from rocks?
Rocks are dumb.
Yeah, I'm smarter than a rock. I don't need to learn about them.
Tell Dwayne that. I bet you would. I'm kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
Dwayne.
Flex for me, Rock.
Show me your. I don't know who this is.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
Oh, I thought it was a work person you're talking about.
No.
I was like,
No.
I said say that. Whatever.
I'm the only muscly work person.
God, Jesus Christ.
At least that's what I was told this morning.
By who?
You guys in the fucking garage.
Oh, we were making fun of you. It's called satire.
Because I'm more fit.
Oh my God.
I'm Morpheus.
How do you like sit on a chair without falling over with your giant fucking head?
Balance.
beat in
Core. A lot of ab
Core
workouts.
strength.
Yeah. Clark writes that on September 5th, 1951, all 3 men, along with the 2 professors from Texas Tech, were sitting in Robinson's front yard when the lights flew overhead. According to one of the professors, named Grayson Mead, the lights appeared to be about the size of a dinner plate, and they were greenish blue, slightly fluorescent in color.
I know what it is.
They were small. A weather balloon? Is that what you're gonna say?
They took frisbees and
And-
put tin foil on the like the inside of it, and then they threw it so it reflected.
It's an interesting theory. They were smaller than the full moon at the horizon. They were about 12 to 15 of these lights. They were absolutely circular. It gave all of us an extremely eerie feeling. Mead said that the lights could not have been birds, but he also stated that they went over so fast
What
that
the fuck? It couldn't have been birds.
well, that's what a lot of times people were like. It was birds.
A bird that shines.
Yeah, it's a shiny bird. You ever heard of a shiny?
Well, they make glow in the dark rabbits and mice now.
Shines bright like a diamond.
Amen. We wish we could have had a better look. Clark wrote that the professors observed one formation of the lights flying above the thin cloud at about 2,000 feet, which he says allowed them to calculate that the lights were traveling at over 600 miles per hour. He's a scientist. He's an engineer.
Of rock.
You can figure it out.
I
How's
know
a
you can
rock
figure it out.
scientist
I-
supposed
I-
to figure out that?
Through a rock.
Yeah, I probably threw.
Same thing as with the baseball.
guy.
Or you crack open a geode and like look at the reflections in it and everything like that.
The frisbee thing's kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
It's actually pretty good.
Should we try that?
Somebody
we
just
should
throwing
try
a
it.
shit ton of frisbees.
Quick, all at once.
Yeah. Gotta mess with these scientists. Nobody's gonna believe him because he only looks at rocks.
I mean, but like, if a scientist is to claim that they see something like that, they're gonna be totally discredited right away. Even, I mean, especially back then.
Especially a rock one.
Yeah.
What do you know about space? You know who
You're
I'm
not an
slowly hating
astrologist.
more
There's
and
actually
more?
photographs of these.
The
There is?
rocks?
The hard photographs.
I really don't like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's annoying.
He's a fucking just...
He's annoying. He's obnoxiously intelligent. And
Yeah.
he flaunts it all.
He's yes, he
super
is
smart, but he's such a fuck.
Well, yeah, because he thinks he walks into a room and he thinks he's smarter and better than everybody. And what the fuck is with the little girl?
Don't ask me. I don't know, man. I just typed it up.
That looks like a whole bunch of frisbees. Yeah,
It wasn't my Google search
that is
earlier.
creepy.
That Christ.
Which photo?
The one to the way right.
I like
Oh,
that it looks
the
at
bees.
the points at the
I was
girl.
pointing at the windmill where his cursor was. That right there?
Yeah, the V.
Okay. Yeah, it's a flock of geese.
Shiny birds.
Yeah.
Shiny birds.
Shiny birds. They took that cell from the jellyfish that glow, and they put it into a flock of geese.
Bioluminescence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, for
Yes.
sure.
Or
Wait, you guys-
fireflies.
To make stuff
They were
glow, you,
migrating.
Yeah.
you don't just drench it in glow sticks.
You inject it into your veins.
What the hell were you talking about before I showed the picture? What was he talking about? You
Neil
remember?
deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse
Oh, that's very
Tyson.
terrible.
I saw another
we
video
think-
of him today at what he was talking about, and I was like, boy, I just don't fucking like this man.
He's very
Obnoxious
I don't like
as
how he
fuck.
interrupts people. That bothers me. I don't like when people do that.
Well, he's smart, but he thinks he's better than everybody because of it, and he is an asshole about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you don't know something, it's condescending.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's not how you do that.
He didn't see
You-
Stephen Hawking like going smarter.
Let me do a voice. Do the Stephen Hawking voice.
Beep boop.
What the? Come on, dude. Try it. Give it an actual shot. Do you need to hear it?
Yeah, give me a little.
Okay.
Here, I can look it up.
Okay, look it up. Yeah. But I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. It's sad because I would like to listen to him more, but I get so irritated listening to him talk.
And I'm the terrible one.
Well, Cody, when you're on one,
I am never on one.
you say some intense
It has been a
things.
long time.
It has. You're overdue. I'll be waiting.
Oh, that won't happen, I don't think.
I don't know about that, man.
We'll see.
Get you in the right mindset.
I'll purposely come here tired.
Yeah.
Like super tired.
That's what we all need to do to record that episode.
I'll be sleep deprived.
I can't.
No,
Yeah,
play
yeah,
it for
yeah.
the mic. I want to hear it.
I can't talk like a robot.
Shows what technology can do, even if it does give me a Scandinavian or American accent.
I don't know what to do.
That was actually pretty good. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
It's awful.
Yeah, it is. Well, he still got it. Remember he hooked up with his caretaker? After? For a
Yeah,
while?
after his wife cheated on him
Got to. And
with
he didn't-
his caretaker.
But he didn't care.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
I
just
would-
wanted her to be happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, what do you expect, man? I'd feel bad for her.
Still
as well.
got some in a wheelchair too. So
Sit on my finger. Cody, you want to give it a shot?
I don't.
Come on, close your eyes and do it. We're not watching.
she likes it when you grab her boobs. You just hear that from the closet.
You guys are so fucking from the closet.
It's a cook situation.
You just you're fucking the shit out of this chick. Here's your faster.
You just see lights like coming through like the draperies.
Or
It's your furious typing.
going.
Oh man. Oh, I respect him very much.
I do.
Let's
He's
just clarify.
Yeah.
very smart man.
And a good guy too.
Yeah.
He's always funny. I watched a lot of his stuff. Just, I grieve through humor. That's what I do. In late September 1951, Ruplet sounds like a Pokemon.
Ruples.
Yeah, that's the guy who's the head of Project Blue Book. Learned about the Lubbock Lights and investigated them as part of Project Blue Book. Ruplet traveled to Lubbock and interviewed the professors, Carl Hart, and others who claimed to have witnessed the lights. Ruplet's conclusion at the time was that the professors had seen some type of bird called a plover. Pulver. Plover. Want to Google it? Want to hit it to Google?
I think it'd be pulver.
I don't know.
Plover.
The city of Lubbock had installed new vapor streetlights in 1951, and Ruplet believed that the migrating pulvers reflecting the new streetlights were reflecting the new streetlights.
These tiny ass fucking birds.
Yeah, when these scientists did the math and said they were 2,000 feet in the air.
They're literally like.
Let me see.
Those things are fucking
They literally
tiny.
will find any fucking excuse. But it's not.
I mean, when you shine, they were
6 to
Brian
12
took it
inches
down.
long. 6 to 12
And
inches
moving
long.
600, 700 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. And perception. I mean, perception can be funny, but I never thought that they would reflect that much light, that they would be bright enough to be like, whoa, that's.
Where is this located?
Lubbock, Texas.
See, these pulvers
Yeah.
are virtually they're in Australia.
Okay, so look at Pulver, Lubbock, Texas migrate patterns.
Lubbock, Texas.
Witnesses who supported this assertion included T.E. Snyder, a local farmer who, on August 31st, had observed, birds flying over a drive-in movie theater. The birds' undersides were reflecting in the light. Another pair of witnesses, Joe Brandt and his wife, on August 25th, observed groups of lights flying overhead. When a third group of lights passed overhead, they began to circle the Brandts' home and were identified by sight and sounds of pulvers. J. Allen Hynek, an astronomer and one of Project Blue Book's scientific consultants, later contacted one of the professors and learned that the professor claimed the lights were pulvers. Yeah, man. Once again, maybe the scientist said that just so people would stop, because he was probably ruining his career
Probably.
by saying that they were the birds.
Well, that's what.
That's what popped up.
That's the different lights that. So there's a different sets of lights it showed. But
Can I see that again?
They're
please?
pulvers. Yeah. I still think it's frisbees.
Then what's?
what?
I just don't understand the different sizes of the reflecting lights as well. Wouldn't they all
Different
be the same?
sized birds.
Different frisbees.
Oh, different frisbees.
Obviously.
God,
Or the different
obviously.
sizes are some with their wings spread out and some with them in.
How are they flying then?
They're
Magic.
gliding.
Yeah. There's a wind gust.
Because they're using the jet stream off the other ones, so they helps them glide.
Yeah.
So their wings would stay open longer.
They close them. That's what different sizes. They were
they
falling
flap
down
them. They don't
and
close.
some are higher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why some are bigger and some are smaller.
I mean, most of the time when you see birds flying in a pattern like that, they aren't staggered. It's a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
They're frisbees.
Are you a scientist?
You're right. I'm not. That's true.
Are you a geologist?
I do like rocks quite a bit. I have a huge, vast rock collection. Fossils too. Paleontologist.
Paleontologist.
Arrowheads. Archaeologist. I have some bugs soaked in isopropyl. Entomologist.
I want.
What bugs
like
do you
a
have?
bug in
None of your
am-
business,
in-
mayflies.
In amber or something.
That'd be pretty sick. I would buy it. I would buy a piece of amber with a bug in it for sure. I'll be the next. Was Hancock? No. The guy,
Will Smith?
No, it's the
Guy that made Jurassic
the
Park.
billionaire who had the piece of amber who paid for all of it. It's like Hand something.
Hans Gruber.
Huh?
Hans Gruber.
Cody, you're God fucking A, man, you're on one today.
Das Boot.
J.C. Cross, the head of Texas Tech's biology department, and the game warden interviewed by Rupert both claimed that the sightings could not have been birds. This biologist. The biologist. Meade, who had observed the lights, also disputed the pulver explanation. These objects were too large for any bird. What? How big in length?
6 to 12.
Thank you. I have had enough experience hunting, and I don't know any bird that could go this fast. We would not be able to hear. To have gone as fast as this, to be birds, they would have to have been exceedingly low to disappear quite so quickly. William Hams, chief photographer of the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, because it snows so much there, took several nighttime photos of the birds flying over Lubbock streetlights and could not duplicate Hart's photos regarding the lights. Rupert later wrote, "They were not birds, refracted light, or spaceships. They were positively identified as a very commonplace and easily explainable natural phenomenon. It is very unfortunate that I cannot divulge exactly the way the answer was found because it is an interesting story of how scientists set up the complete instrumentation to track down the lights and how we spent several months testing theory after theory until we finally hit upon the answer."
Wait, so
then why
he
can't
has
Telling the
share it?
story would lead to his identity, and in exchange for his story, I promise the man complete anonymity.
So does he give the story?
But he fully convinced me that he had the answer. After having heard hundreds of explanations of UFOs, I don't convince easily. I don't know.
So what? It doesn't,
doesn't
say the
s-
story. He's like, I got the answer for this, but
He doesn't want it.
It's too
But it's
bad.
anonymous, and he told me it. But I'm not going to tell it.
no, he didn't want to tell it because the details would give his identity
What a
away.
cock.
Here, let's
Do you want a little penis?
No, I don't. I have one already. Thank you, though. Yeah. Okay, so while investigating the Lubbock lights, Rupert also learned that several people in around Lubbock claimed to have seen a flying wing moving around over the city. Among the witnesses was the wife of Ducker. Not Picker, Ducker, who reported in August 1951 she had observed a huge soundless flying wing pass over her house. Rupert knew that the Air Force did not possess a flying wing jet bomber, and he felt that at least some of the sightings had been caused by the bomber. Although he could not explain why, according to the witnesses, a wing made no sound as it flew overhead. So that's probably what the explanation was that it was the flying bomber that was flying over, and not
A B-28 bomber.
Wait,
I don't
so
know
it was
exactly.
okay.
I think that's what he was saying it was.
I don't think they'd have that many fucking lights on the bottom of them, though.
But-
Especially if a
'cause
bomber's like that. Or
aren't
bombers
they supposed
are
to be like
supposed to be
kind of covert?
Stealthy.
if anything, they have like a blinking light that they can turn on and off on the bottom.
Yeah.
But why would they have them over the city?
Yeah. Let's give fucking 12 giant lights on the bottom
Yeah,
of this plane.
That's like the
More than that is like 24. It's fuck.
Wasn't it it was 15 to 30.
Yeah.
That's what they said. Wasn't the Phoenix lights in the same shape? The V, right? Correct?
There's been a lot of sightings with certain UFO things that are. You're really making a lot of noise.
Yeah, you are.
That
We're
are,
trying to talk about UFOs here, and you're doing that shit. We're trying to get serious.
There are a lot
And
of.
he's making your small penises.
Yeah.
I'm not making it.
There are a lot of UFO sightings and everything that they're like triangular shape.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was
That's
that,
a weather balloon.
that one stealth ship that is shaped as a V as well.
Yeah.
I forgot what's the name. That was being built at the time, wasn't it? I don't think it was complete though. I thought that was later.
No, like that blackbird.
Is it called black? I know what you're talking about. I forget what it's called though.
Yeah.
Is it a blackbird?
I don't know. You want to give it a quick pause?
Yeah. Alien frisbees that glow in a triangular shape.
Aren't frisbees triangular?
You
Depending
can
on
buy
the frisbee.
Australian
A boomerang?
You can buy Australian frisbees that are coming.
Australian frisbee. I thought those were just like upside down frisbees.
My grandpa literally bought me a frisbee That's Australian frisbee is what it said on the package. I'm not even
It's
joking.
upside down.
Yes, Stevie. So, on the events of what?
That's the blackbird.
Oh. What's the
One that's really
the spy
triangular.
plane? Yeah,
it's a spy. Yeah.
That's like super flat. At 11:40 p.m. on Saturday, July 19th, 1952, Edward Nugent, an air traffic controller at Washington National Airport, spotted 7 objects on his radar. The objects were located 15 miles southwest
One
of
of these?
Yes. What are they called?
B2.
B-2s.
It's B2 stealth bombers.
Those things are sick.
Stealth.
Yeah. You think a stealth bomber would
Stealth,
have
yeah.
15 to 30 lights on it?
Maybe, but why would they have them on over the city?
To alert the village of a bombing incident.
I'd give them a little 15-second warning.
They're the death lights.
Yeah.
No known aircraft were in the area, and the objects were not following any established flight paths. Nugent, the Superior's Harry Barnes, a senior air traffic controller at the airport, watched the objects on Nugent's radar scope. He later wrote, "We knew immediately that a very strange situation existed. Their movements were completely radical compared to those of ordinary aircraft." Do you think that's how he said it? Their movement was completely radical. Radical.
Yeah.
Shaka, bro. Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. He probably did. He's probably holding a surfboard and everything.
That's where all of his that's his whiteboard. It's just a surfboard.
That he holds the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Barnes had 2 controllers. God, so stupid. God, bunch of morons. Barnes had 2 controllers check Nugent's radar. They found that it was working normally. Barnes then called National Airport's radar-equipped control tower. The controllers there, Howard Coughlin, and Joe
Nice cock.
and Joe Zachow, said that they also had unidentified blips on their radar screen and saw hovering bright light in the sky, which departed with incredible speed. Coughlin said, "Zachow, did you see that? What the hell was that?" At this point,
I'm just thinking of a bunch of shit.
about Coughlin?
Cack.
What?
Just
Okay.
keep reading.
What?
Nothing. I don't think you would find funny. It's my
Nice cack.
nice cock.
At this point, other objects appeared in all sectors of the radar scope. When they moved over the White House and the United States Capitol, Barnes called Andrews Air Force Base, located 10 miles from the National Airport. Although Andrews reported that they had no unusual objects on their radar, an airman soon called the base control tower to report sightings of strange object Ariam William Brandy, who was in the tower, then saw an object which appeared to be like an orange ball of fire, trailing a tail. It was like anything I'd ever seen before. As Brady tried to alert the personnel in the tower, the strange object took off in an unbelievable speed.
Was it the sun? No.
You see that ball of light right there? That's the sun, Andy. Don't look at it.
Don't look directly at it.
Imagine how crazy it is. You're like, that's the sun, and but I thought that was the
sun.
sun.
Yeah, man, that
That
would be wild. Ooh, that'd be kind of, hey, man, there's a scene in a movie right there.
Yeah.
That's like a meteorite coming to kill. Meanwhile, at Andrews Air Force Base, the control tower personnel were tracking on the radar what some thought to be known objects, but the others suspected, and in one instance were able to prove, were simply stars and meteors. However, Staff Sergeant Charles Davenport observed an orange-red light to the south. The light would appear to stand still and then make an abrupt change in direction and altitude. This happened several times. At one point, both radar centers at the National Airport and the radar at Andrews Air Force Base were tracking an object hovering over a radio beacon. The object vanished in all 3 radar centers at the same time. So I'm guessing it was a meteorite reflecting off of birds.
Yes.
Reflecting off of frisbees.
Yes. It's always
On
back
top,
to the frisbees.
On top of a weather balloon.
It had to be.
Yeah.
It had to be.
No doubt about it.
At 3 a.m., shortly before 2 United States Air Force F-94 Starfire jets from Newcastle Air Force Base in Delaware arrived over Washington. All of the objects vanished from the radar at the national airport. However, when the jets ran low on fuel and left, the objects returned, which convinced Barnes that the UFOs were monitoring radio traffic and behaving accordingly. The objects were last detected at the by radar at 5:30 a.m.
So they said these were meteorites?
That's what some of them thought. But this struck obviously the first thing that they were thinking about was the Ruskies.
What are you doing?
He's playing with that putty and pushing it against the table.
What's up?
You're making a lot of noise.
I'm not.
I mean, they thought it was Russians.
I was going to say, if they blame this on something, why the fuck would they send out
Jets?
Yeah, well, because they had no idea. I know you had 3 different air traffic control places.
Yeah.
Saying that they saw this shit. It was flying over the White House. I mean,
Always the Russians.
well, at the time, that's what they
pretty
thought.
funny joke?
Because that
They're
was
sitting up at the mothership.
No.
no good. Continue.
No, they're sitting up in the mothership. You want to see something funny? Go and fuck around above the White House. Just dip out and
Look
keep
at them scary.
Yeah.
Look how
Yeah,
scared they are.
Yeah.
Pussies.
But they
Pussies.
have those jets, and when they were getting close, they had to go back to refuel. But yet you have something with enough fuel and enough power
To disappear.
to sit up there, wait for them to come, fly out of the way, and then fly all the way back
Obviously.
onto town.
That's what they thought, that it was some Russian spy craft that technology they didn't have.
Yes.
And if I had to pick a country that would probably have technology that was like that, it'd probably be Germany. Not at that time, obviously, because of what happened.
Winning the war and all.
Yeah. But I mean, because their innovation was crazy with all the stuff. Their tanks.
Yeah, but I
their
mean,
planes.
around that time, I guess
That's what I'm saying. At that
Russians
time,
would be a good, because I mean, they capture a lot of Nazi scientists.
just like we did.
Yeah, and torture the fuck out of them.
How did we come up with the atom bomb?
I mean, it's fucked up, but it was actually a good move too. At the same time,
Yeah.
getting as many as we could, because they were top tier.
Yeah, they were.
They were top tier.
Somehow.
It's fucked. Especially all the pardons that were given. Yeah, I feel like
Sorry for hooking your nipples up to some jumper cables, but you're good to go now.
you're free.
Yeah.
Here's a gift card to
he's
Texas
like-
Roadhouse.
He's limping. He has fucking 6 fingers left and 2 toes. Just
You'll be fine. We'll get you some new ones. Don't worry about it.
nipples are just black.
From
Just black, just charred.
Oh, I thought you'd be pinching.
Oh,
Give him another one.
I'm pinching.
Give him titty twisters.
black eyes. His lungs are just filled
What do you
with
think would be the
water.
worst torture?
Waterboarding.
You think so?
Really?
I
Would
don't
you
know.
getting beat constantly or waterboarded?
I don't know. See, drowning is one of the most
That's what I'm saying. That's what it feels like constantly.
painful deaths.
Yeah.
It'd either be, I don't know.
I don't know if I'd say painful, but scary.
Get
yeah.
your heart really beating.
Yeah, because you're feeling like you're suffocating the entire time.
Well, yeah, psychological, probably waterboarding. Pain, getting the shit beat out of you, or electrocuted.
Yeah.
Because they know just like the right amount of.
To keep you alive, but make sure it's painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough one. Waterboarding or beaten? Which one do you take?
To die?
No.
Or just to get
To
tortured?
survive, let's say.
Well, I'm built different, so I would
I
just
would
drink the
you
water. I would
mean?
just
What do you
I would
mean?
I would
honestly-
just drink the water if I was getting waterboarded.
You can only drink so much. They got a hose
Dog,
going over your
I'll
feet.
drink it all. Yeah.
You're gonna dry drown.
I'd probably.
You're built different. That was the dumbest fucking thing you can.
I think-
you can do.
I think I'd probably choose waterboarding because I'd like to walk and
Me too.
use all my appendages.
Yeah,
and not have
so-
swollen face and shit and
Yeah,
see
I
out of
think
your
so.
eyes.
Yeah.
I would rather get waterboarded.
See, that's what I never get. Like torturing, I never really got because you torture me, everything. I will give you any fucking information, real or fake, and you won't know the difference.
Exactly. What are you gonna check? You're gonna fact check it
Yeah.
quick. Well, that's why they keep you and then they kill you afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I get a chance to fight back, I would, because I would want them to kill me as fast as possible.
Thinking of Doom Patrol when they're torturing
I
him.
haven't seen that.
Not Doom Patrol.
What?
Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah.
Close.
I love that, man.
I was thirsty.
What you know would be fucked up is like Brothers. You guys ever see that? Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Like
where
that,
where they
yeah.
think he's dead and he comes back. He did a great
did.
job.
And
in
when he
that
has to
movie.
kill his friend,
Mhm.
oh man, like that's torture now.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we got
Sad
that out
movie.
of the way, that is a very sad movie. It's very sad. They have strong PTSD. You ever think about that, especially like back in the day? Like now we sort of take it into consideration. Sort of mental, like the aware of mental illness here is pretty bad. Mental.
Back then, it was pretty much quit being a little bitch.
Yeah, dude. Think about like World War II.
Like shell shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what they had to deal with and nobody to talk to. Like just deal with it. We won. Woo, 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 woo.
No,
Yeah.
you're a man.
Yeah. God, that's man.
Gotta deal with
That's such a bad trope.
Yeah.
The sightings of July 19th and the 20th in 1952 made the front page of headlines in newspapers around the nation. A typical example were the headlines of the Cedar Rapids Gazette in Iowa. It read, "Saucers swarm over Capitol" in large black type. By coincidence, USAF Captain Edward J. Ruppelt, the supervisor of Air Force Project Blue Book investigation into UFO sightings, was in Washington at the time.
Wow.
Coincidence. However, he did not learn about the sightings until Monday, July 21st, when he read the headlines in Washington's area's newspaper. Bullshit. Exactly. He's a top tier general, and you hear that something's flying over the Air Force Base.
Radars and they just disappear randomly. There's no fucking way you're not going to hear about it.
Yeah, like that day after talking with intelligence officers at the Pentagon about the sightings, Ruppelt spent several hours trying to obtain a staff car so he could travel around Washington to investigate the sightings. But he was refused as only generals and senior colonels could use staff cars. He was told that he could rent a taxi cab with his own money. By this point, Ruppelt was so frustrated that he left Washington and flew back to Blue Book's headquarters in Wright-Patterson AFB, Dayton, Ohio.
Ohio?
Captain Roy James, who felt that the unusual weather conditions could have caused the unknown radar targets. Ball lightning.
Ball. Is that what they said?
No, I'm just throwing.
Lightning in the bottle.
Yeah, man, that's. Yeah, I don't know. That is a very weird situation, especially like, well, what if it could be? The hovering thing is the interesting part, where it just sat there and then came back.
Mm-hmm.
But like a test. It'd be a weird test.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't tell air traffic control. They'd have no idea.
It was just like it was an RC helicopter with a frisbee on it.
Yeah. Who was the president at
You
the
and the
time?
fucking frisbee. Huh?
Who was the president at the time?
1950s?
Yeah, that was
I think it was Nick. Wasn't it Nick Hoover? 1950s. I feel like it's.
I'm not even gonna say because I don't know.
I'm not gonna say
it's
anything because I don't
Nixon.
fucking know.
Nixon was in that time period, I think.
Truman.
Oh, Harry S. Truman.
God.
Oh yeah, because he took over for the end of World War II, and then okay.
Delete it.
Nope, I don't care. Nixon was after him.
Was he?
A few after.
Yeah, I was
him.
gonna say because Kennedy was before Nixon.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
Don't ask me, dog. I don't.
Kennedy was before Nixon.
Don't look at me. I have no fucking clue.
Nixon was 69 to 74. So yeah, Kennedy was before him.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we got that squared away.
Yeah, because JFK was 35th president from the United States from January 1961 until his assassination in 63. So yeah.
Okay. For some reason I thought 62, but again I barely sounded like I knew what I was talking about. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Aliens.
At 8:15, this is a big event. This is probably like the biggest one. At 8:15 p.m. on Saturday, July 26, 1952, a pilot and stewardess on a National Airlines flight into Washington observed some lights above their plane. Within minutes, both radar centers at National Airport and the radar at Andrews AFB were tracking more unknown objects. USAF Master Sergeant Charles C. Cummings constantly visually observed the objects at Andrews. He later said that these lights did not have the characteristics of shooting stars. There was no trails. They traveled faster than any shooting star I have ever seen.
Well, he obviously hasn't seen an airplane in the night sky.
Like shooting stars?
Yeah. He could have really used a wish
Right now?
to change his name.
From Cummings?
Yeah.
To what?
Goings.
Meanwhile, Albert Chop, the press spokesman of Project Blue Book, arrived at National Airport and, due to security concerns, denied several reporters' requests to photograph the radar screens. He then joined the radar center personnel. By this time,
He refused to photograph?
no, they refused photographers' requests.
Oh, okay.
So he said, "You can't. No. I shred the carrot at you because you can't."
That's weird.
It is strange.
Almost like they're covering something up.
Almost like they don't want people to go into panic knowing that aliens exist.
What was I gonna say? I feel like I met someone recently that doesn't believe in aliens. I can't remember their name.
No,
Chan's lady.
she doesn't.
No.
Oh, yeah, but she's just a.
She doesn't think aliens exist at all. She thinks we're the only life forms in the whole universe.
What
And
a
the
fucking coincidence all this is then.
In the infinite galaxy, we are the only beings.
But she also, God is real.
Super real too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to get married in a Catholic church,
But she's not. Is she?
or else it doesn't count.
Is she Catholic?
yeah,
I feel like
Just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So I'll get married in a fucking garbage can.
I mean, at that, yeah, right? But at that point, also, like, it's like a magic ritual. Like, everything that you do is like like a magic.
I talked to Grandma about it the other day, and what did she say? Because after I helped them, and we came back here to grab something, and she said how many churches were here or whatever, and I said, yeah, there's always people over at this church doing some culty shit.
Grace Point?
Yeah,
Well,
like all the time. And she laughed. I was like, yeah.
Well, maybe I might want to. Okay.
I didn't even. Yeah.
Evangelicals in general, I feel like are.
That's what that church is?
Yes.
Oh.
It's just a different sect.
I didn't know if it was Lutheran or what.
No, it's evangelical.
Oh, yeah, so
It's like evangel. Just different name.
kind of.
Yeah. I mean,
Stop. Fuck.
you need something else to play.
I need something to fidget
A
with. I
fidget
can't.
spinner for Cody.
Why don't you?
All right, let's continue Blue Book. No, not monkeys in a barrel.
Cody, God, come on. All right. Where was I at?
Religion
yeah.
is a cult.
What did you say?
Huh?
Every religion is a cult? I mean, essentially, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, how is it not?
Continue.
Okay.
Aliens.
Not
God's
the
an
topic
alien.
Of
Not the topic of the day.
yeah. Some other day.
Yes.
By this time, the radar center was detecting unknown objects. But here's what I'm trying
I
to say.
just
I'm
don't
kidding.
want my apartment pipe bombed. By who?
Yeah,
Some religious fanatics? I don't fucking know.
because our podcast is spread throughout the millions.
Yeah. We just hit 6,500 downloads a couple days ago.
Son of a bitch.
I forgot I was going to say.
Okay, continue.
Man, here, I got a tip for you. If you forget what you're going to say, don't even say that.
Yeah, just stay quiet.
I'm gonna. I felt like it was important, but obviously
Well, I'm
it
sure it
wasn't.
was, and I would love to hear it.
I
wasn't
doubt it
important
was.
since you
It
forgot
wasn't.
about it.
Yeah, since I forgot it. But
Continue.
give me one of them fucking cubes that just change into a bunch of shapes. I'll be content for the
The
whole
radar
podcast.
center was detecting unknown objects in every sector. At the times, objects traveled slowly. At other times, they reversed direction and moved across the radar scope at speeds calculated up to 7,000 miles per hour.
So they were hummingbirds,
Gotta be.
since
right?
they can fly backwards.
There's more rocks. At 11:30 p.m., two U.S.
Boomerang.
Yeah, boomerang.
Boomerang.
We need something faster. Give me the boomerang.
Give me the goddamn boomerang.
Yeah. Two U.S. Air Force F-94 Starfighter jet fighters. What?
The thing that was hovering there, they just put a whole bunch of like walkie-talkies on a boomerang. turned them on in high frequency and then threw it over
That's
the radar
one
dish.
big ass freaking boomerang. Have a bunch of radios on it.
Yeah.
From Newcastle, what weather would have like inflict like problems on radar?
Thunderstorms.
Like enough to cause tiny blips, like tiny little dots on the radar.
I guess.
I've never heard
Back
anything
then,
about
maybe, but
I thought it would just like kind of just zzz, zzz.
yeah, well, it'd fizzle, I think.
Yeah.
Fizzle.
Yeah, like
Well,
just
I
open a
don't
can of Coke.
Yeah, or it's static.
Yeah. You got the blips, the drips, and the sweeps. Newcastle Air Force Base in Delaware arrived over Washington. Captain John McHugo, the flight leader, was vectored towards the radar blips, but saw nothing. Despite repeated attempts, however, his wingman, Lieutenant Williams Patterson, did see 4 white glows, and they chased them. He told investigators that I tried to make contact with the with the bogies below 1,000 feet, get 'em, and that I was at my maximum speed. But I ceased chasing them because I saw no chance of overtaking them. According to Albert Chop, when ground control asked Patterson if he saw anything, Patterson replied, "I see them now. They're all around me. What should I do?" And nobody answered because we didn't know what to tell him. That's actually been a case for a lot of them.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, and like some of them, like they like kind of get disorientated.
Yeah.
And I know there was the one in Fargo that we covered a long time ago. The guy just had this inclination to follow it. Like it overtook him. He just went, he just like zoned
Yeah.
out, which is like more of like a psychic thing, what we were talking about earlier.
Pray to whatever Lord you believe in, because we're about to shoot you down.
God, man, that would be scary. Can you imagine being in a jet and being
Just
surrounded?
by
Yeah,
circular light object, or just a shit ton of weather balloons,
like
and
out of
frisbees.
nowhere too.
Wow,
You're traveling at like how fast? I don't know how fast they can travel. You're traveling at a ridiculous speed, and all of a sudden they're just like out of nowhere.
why are all these weather balloons bullying me?
God damn!
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm just a country boy. After midnight on July 27th, USAF Major Dewey Fournette, Project Blue Book's liaison at the Pentagon, and Lieutenant John Holcomb of the United States Navy radar specialist arrived at the radar center at National Airport. During the night, Lieutenant Holcomb received a call from the Washington's National Weather Station. They told him that a slight temperature inversion was present over the city, but Holcomb felt the inversion was not nearly strong enough to explain the good and solid returns on the radar scopes. Fournette replied that all those present in the radar room were convinced that these targets were more likely caused by some solid metallic objects. There had been weather targets on the scope too, he said, but this was common occurrence and the controllers were paying no attention to them. 2 more F-94s from Newcastle Air Force Base were scrambled during the night. One pilot saw nothing unusual. The other pilot saw a white light which vanished, and when he moved towards it, civilian aircraft also reported glowing objects that corresponded to radar blips seen by Andrews radar operators. As soon as July 20th, the sightings and the unknown radar returns and ended at sunrise.
So they're trying to blame it on a temperature drop?
A temperature inversion.
They're trying to blame it on anything but what it could actually be.
Yeah, well, I mean, and also I can kind of for like, you can almost understand because you don't understand it, so you're going to try to find something that can explain it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what people use religion for, to explain stuff that we don't understand.
Yeah. Make fair point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, which I get, but at the same time, when you're like not letting reporters take pictures of the radar or like denying any type of press coverage or whatever, that is highly suspicious activity. Like,
Yeah. Okay. You're hiding something.
yeah, that's what it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Well, they definitely were, because now we got all this information out about what they hid from the public.
Yeah.
And all these people that claim to see this stuff, who were told were crazy and stuff, have now like credibility after, years.
Yeah, fuck.
Air Force Major. Now we're going to go to Air Force explanation. All right. Air Force Major Generals John Sanford, USAF Director of Intelligence, and Roger Ramey, he was the Director of Operations at the same place, held a well-attended press conference at the Pentagon on July 29, 1952.
At the event, Samford stated that the visual sightings over Washington could be explained as misidentified aerial phenomenon such as stars or meteors, and unknown radar targets could be explained by the temperature inversion, which was present. Well, can you look? I don't know what that is. Could one of you guys Google that for me, please?
Temperature inversion.
Yep.
It's when it inverts,
Which,
isn't it?
yeah, but I want like a very like a
It's when
paragraph
temperature-
long
oh my-
description.
I think it's like when temperature in one specific area starts to circulate in a certain way. That
Because
it
the heat
changes.
and the cold are trying to mix together. But I want to understand like what would cause it. Why would that cause the radar to blip? I'm sure there is a reason. I'm just curious. I don't know why. Which was present in the air over Washington on both nights of the radar returns were reported in addition.
Find it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It says in meteorology, an inversion is a deviation from the normal change of an atmospheric property with altitude. And it says it almost always refers to an inversion of the air temperature lapse, an air temperature lapse rate, in which case it is called a temperature inversion.
Okay.
And here's a photo.
Help at all?
If this helps with the explanation.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it.
Oh.
Yeah. Where the cold air comes or the hot air. Yeah.
Volcano.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually, it's kind of a good
Looks
way
like
to
it,
explain.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it.
Schmuck.
In addition, Samford stated that the unknown radar contacts were not caused by solid material objects, and therefore posed no threat to national security. In response to the question as whether the Air Force had recorded similar UFO radar contacts prior to the Washington incident, Samford said that they had been hundreds of such contacts when Air Force flight interceptions had taken place, but stated that they were all fruitless. Excuse me. It was the largest Pentagon press conference since World War II. Press stories called Samford and Ramey Air Force two top UFO experts. Among the witnesses who supported Samford's explanation was the crew of the B-25 bomber, dyslexia, which had been flying over Washington during the sightings of July 26th and 27th. The bomber was vectored several times by the National Airport over unknown targets on the airport's radar scopes, yet the crew could see nothing unusual. Finally, a crew member related. The radar had a target which turned out to be Wilson Line's steamboat trip to Mount Vernon.
What? A steamboat
Here, I'll
trip?
read that again. The radar had a target which turned out to be the Wilson Line's steamboat trip to Mount Vernon. The radar was sure as hell picking up the steamboat.
So, a steamboat that's in the water.
It's getting picked up in the air.
Yeah.
Was the steam getting picked up?
You know, it doesn't say.
But I don't think
How
steam
does-
would show up
You
on.
feel like a lot of boats would probably be picked up.
On a radar?
Yeah, especially because the river at the time was a huge. I mean, still now it's used for transporting goods, and
Yeah.
Yeah. Air Force Captain Harold May was in the radar center at Andrews AFB during the sightings of July 19th and 20th. Upon hearing that National Airport's radar had picked up an unknown object heading in his direction, May stepped outside and saw a light that was changing from red to orange to green to red again. At times it dipped suddenly and appeared to lose altitude. However, May eventually concluded that he was simply seeing a star that was distorted by the atmosphere, and that its movement was an illusion. At 3 a.m. on July 27th, on Eastern Airlines flight over Washington was told that an unknown object was in its vicinity. The crew could see nothing unusual. When they were told that the object had moved directly behind their plane, they began to do a sharp turn to try to see the object.
It'd be fucking
It would be scary, but were told by National Airport's radar center that the object had disappeared when they began their turn. You gotta think you're traveling at how many miles an hour, and you're gonna do a sharp turn, and you think you're gonna see that thing?
But like you're traveling that fast, and something just mysteriously appears behind you.
And like the illusion. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing about the meteor going, it like dipped suddenly, and then he just blamed it on that it was an illusion. The movement was an illusion because you could,
Chris Angel, you got me again.
the star could be. I mean, like that could be disorientated from like clouds and stuff. That could definitely change like how it looks.
But changing the color that drastically. and
Well,
that
well,
fast?
they do when they go through the atmosphere, but the movement,
Yeah.
like how would that be an illusion?
Couldn't tell you.
The Goblin King.
David fucking fucking boy.
Can't believe
Ziggy
that
Star.
movie's on fucking.
I know, I love that, man.
Netflix.
It's the best, man.
I was
Magic
gonna
Dance.
put it on, and then Lily's like, I'm not gonna watch that movie. I was like,
What? That's insulting. It's a fantastic movie.
it's a good movie.
Everybody, please watch. At the request of the Air Force, the CAA's Technical Development of Evaluation Center did an analysis, of the radar sightings. Their conclusion was that a temperature inversion had been indicated in almost every instance when the unidentified radar targets or visual objects had been reported. Project Blue Book would eventually label the unknown Washington radar blips as false images caused by temperature inversion.
Of course.
And the visual sightings as misidentified meteors, stars, and city lights.
Of course.
In later years, two prominent UFO skeptics, Dr. Donald Menzel and an astronomer at Harvard University, and Philip Klass, a senior editor at Aviation Week magazine, would also argue in favor of the temperature inversion image hypothesis, mirage hypothesis. In 2002, Klass told a reporter that the radar technology in 1952 wasn't sophisticated enough to filter out many ordinary objects, which I believe, such as flocks of birds, weather balloons, or temperature inversions. The reporter here's my thing about that. Wouldn't this happen on the daily and they would be known to just kind of check it out and they would identify it?
Yeah.
But they couldn't identify it.
Mm-hmm.
The reporter added that the UFO proponents argue that even the seasoned controllers could differentiate between suspicious targets and solid metallic objects. Klass disagrees. It may be that we had two dumb controllers on the national airport on those nights. Klass added that the introduction of digital filters in the 1970s led to steep decline in UFO sightings on radar.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sounds a little.
Fishy?
Yeah. Hocus pocus.
Yeah.
2.
I don't know, maybe Klass just didn't believe it, and when you don't believe in something so strongly, you're gonna find any way to get around that it's not true.
Yeah. Find anything that shows that
You're
you're
right.
wrong.
You're right.
I'm right.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna go with the side that I think something did. I don't know.
I don't. There can't. Every time that something like this happens, there can't just be an excuse or some simple explanation.
Why not?
Like that.
Why can't you just say we don't know?
Yeah.
Because that's gonna make
Strike fear.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're worried about, especially, and they didn't want people to be worried about the Ruskies.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of the whole point of the thing at the time, was to make sure that people wouldn't panic that the Russians weren't coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're coming, just not here.
Now let's the Robertson panel. The extremely high numbers of the UFO reports in 1952 distributed both the Air Force and the Central Intelligence Agency. Both groups felt that an enemy nation could deliberately flood the U.S. with false UFO reports, causing mass panic and allowing them to launch a sneak attack. On September 24th, 1952, the CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence sent a memorandum to Walter B. Smith, the CIA's director. The memo stated that the flying saucer situation has national security implications. In the public concern with the phenomenon lies the potential for the touching of mass hysteria and panic. The result of the memorandum was the creation in January 1953 of the Robertson panel. Dr. Howard P. Robertson, a physicist, chaired the panel, which consisted of prominent scientists, at which spent 4 days examining the best UFO cases collected by Project Blue Book. The panel dismissed nearly all UFO cases it has examined as not representing anything unusual or threatening to national security. In the panel's controversial estimate, the Air Force and Project Blue Book needed to spend less time analyzing and studying UFO reports and more time publicly debunking them. The panel recommended that the Air Force and Project Blue Book should take steps to strip unidentified flying objects of the special status they had been given and the aura of mystery that had been fortunately acquired. Following the panel's recommendation, Project Blue Book would rarely publicized any UFO cases that it had not labeled as solved. Unsolved cases were rarely mentioned by the Air Force. And that's why you can't find any ones that were not
disproven.
Unsolved, yeah. The 75. Like,
Can't find anything about them.
you can if you, I'm sure, spend
Dig deep enough.
Yeah. But I don't know. To me, it's
Fishy.
looking for excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want people to reach panic and hysteria, which I understand.
They didn't know anything about it either, so they probably didn't want to look dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The U.S. look dumb.
I mean, and we used it to cause panic and hysteria. We used tactics like that. The Russians did it to us during the election.
And then, like, Battle of L.A.,
Yeah.
that whole alien incident.
What?
There was an alien incident called, like, they just nicknamed it Battle of L.A.
I never heard of it.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, we can wrap it up there.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
All
It's
right.
up to you to decide.
Battle of LA.
So, join us next week for Spooptober
Spooptober.
Part
Can't
2.
wait.
They'll increase in scariness each episode.
Really?
Think so?
Goodbye.